I would love to go to Japan at some point, but one thing that we do know about Japan is that Japan has some of the lowest obesity rates. Um, and there's a reason why. Mainly because they have systems that they operate that is for the people. They want to make sure people have they have healthy a healthy society. They have healthy citizens, and it starts from when the kids are very young. And this lets you know that obesity is a Western problem. So this is not something that you will find all throughout Asia. It's not something you will find all throughout, parts of Europe. This is a Western problem. So let's go and check this out. Let me refresh the video so you guys can see the whole context. All right.
Japan is the third richest country in the whole world, and they didn't get fat, right? So 42% of Americans are obese. It's 4% of Japanese people, and it's set to fall, right? Wow. There's no market for Ozempic in these countries. They're really not fat. And at first you think, well, it must be some genetic thing. They must have just won the genetic lottery. But we know that's not the case.
Yeah.
So the Japanese government very consciously transformed the Japanese diet.
Yeah.
They transformed the diet, and they did all sorts of things that are now continued and in fact stepped up. So I wanted to see what they are. So I went to this school in Tokyo called Koenji School. Kids go there from when they're 6 to when they're 18. And it was a really strange experience because it's a school with 1,000 children. I spent a whole day there. There's not one overweight child in that school.
Wow.
It's a strange thing to see, right? And we were greeted at the door, me and my translator Chie, by a woman called Harumi Tatibe, who's the nutritionist who works for the school. In Japan, by law, every school has to employ a professional nutritionist.
Oh, God. Wow.
It's a serious qualification. It's 3 years on top of your teaching degree. And as the nutritionist, your job is to design the school meals, which have to, by law, be made entirely of fresh foods that are prepared on the day. You're not even allowed pre-processed paste in the schools in Japan. And then you've got to use those fresh, unprocessed meals, which contain all the main food groups, to educate the children about how to eat well, eat healthily. But Japan is the third richest country in the whole world, and they didn't get fat, right?
All right. As you can see there. So basically, it kind of just confirms what I was saying is that places like Japan have a system so that their citizens live healthier lives overall, well into adulthood, and that starts at a young age. You saw that the man went into the school, the kids, he didn't see one overweight kid, and that was because of their school lunch. They didn't have processed foods. They made sure that everything is nutritious. It doesn't have any type of added preservatives. And this is something that keeps a society strong. When you have a fat society, you have a weak society, which is why we have so many problems here in the US. We have a fat society. We have a lazy society. So laziness is not going to keep you as sharp. It's not going to keep you alert. It's not going to keep you as aware. This is why Japan is so smart. This is why they're living in 2050. They don't have the bullshit diet that we have. They're smarter than us. China, they're smarter than us. Why? Most of it comes down to the food. Most of it comes down to overall health and fitness. They walk more than us. They eat better than us. They have a system so that the society at large as a whole is going to be healthier. When you have a healthy society, you have a strong society. And that is the complete opposite of what we have. Everybody over here in the US is in disarray. We don't know what the hell's going on. Everybody's just fat, weak, out of shape, lazy, just getting by. So this is the main reason why, these nations are ahead of us. Like I said, I've never been to Japan, and I would love to go to Japan at some point. But I've had friends that have been to Japan, and they're telling me that it's just a cleaner society. It's safer. You know, um, everybody's skinny or just thin. You don't see too many fat people. You go out to eat, the portion sizes are very small because they understand how to eat better. The technology is more advanced, and that's because they're just smarter than us. They're just smarter. We don't have the same capacity because we eat bullshit food, you know. So it's not that they're Asian and they're just smarter than us. I just think that the food that they eat definitely impacts their 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 IQ. It definitely impacts their intelligence. So if we adopted those same principles, man, we'd be way ahead of the game, man.